Well, good morning. It's Thursday morning, and for Thursday we read Revelation 12, 7 through 12, which says, Now war arose in heaven, Michael and his angels fighting against the dragon. And the dragon and his angels fought back, but he was defeated, and there was no longer any place for them in heaven. And the great dragon was thrown down, that ancient serpent who is called the devil and Satan, the deceiver of the whole world. He was thrown down to earth, and his angels were thrown down with him. And I heard a loud voice in heaven saying, Now the salvation and the power and the kingdom of our God and the authority of his Christ have come. For the accuser of our brothers has been thrown down, who accuses them day and night before our God. And they have conquered him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, for they love not their lives even unto death. Therefore rejoice, O heavens, and you who dwell in them. But woe to you, earth and sea, for the devil has come down to you in great wrath, because he knows that his time is short. There's a bunch of things here that swim around, and some of them are our own confusion. And that is because we have assumed the traditional stories that come from John Milton's poem, The Paradise Lost, written in the 16th century, I think, or 17th maybe. And Paradise Lost is not a good source for information about Scripture. Let's just put it that way. It's a great poem. It's a monumental achievement in poetry. It is not accurate as far as Scripture is concerned. And so the notion that there's this big war in heaven and the devil and his angels are thrown out of heaven and they come to earth and they begin to tempt people, that is correct to a point, and we read some of that here, but it's not something that happened, in ancient times and affects us today. What happens here is that Michael and his angels begin to fight against this dragon and his angels. The other thing that's swimming around in all of this is that Satan is, in the Old Testament understanding of things, typically a character in heaven. He's the prosecuting attorney. He's the one who accuses us. This word Satan means accuser. And he's the accuser who says, that guy David, he's doing things that are wrong. And that person over there, she's doing things that are wrong. And the angel Michael acts as the defense attorney until Jesus comes along having conquered sin and says, no. Let him go, and you get away, Satan. So there's some of that going on too here. Satan has a role and a place in heaven, in God's court. Now, the word Satan comes from Persia, and so they picked this up during the exile, a Persian concept of the accuser. And started calling him Shaitan at that point. And they began to develop this notion of a personification of evil. And that's the thing that we are burdened with. So we have this personification of evil who's in heaven fighting against Michael and his angels. Well, why aren't they fighting against the Messiah who's been born in the previous chapter? That's a good question. He's down on earth on the cross, you see, when this goes on. So this is a sort of a symbolic enactment of what's happening on the cross, is that good is fighting evil and conquering evil. It's not that good and evil fight and we don't know who's going to win. Okay? It's not that they're equal forces that are opposing each other and fighting and we don't know what's going to happen. We do know what's going to happen. What's going to happen is Jesus is going to conquer. He's going to win. And so there's no doubt about that. There's no question. It's not that, well, evil and good are fighting. Let's wait and see what happens. Like you have to wait and see at the Super Bowl who's going to win. We know who's going to win. It's going to be Jesus. So it's a lopsided battle in the first place. And in this telling of it, then Satan is thrown out of heaven with his angels and lands on earth. The voices in heaven are saying, salvation and power and kingdom of our God and the authority of Christ have come, because the accusers have been thrown down. So victory is declared in heaven. But Satan is down there on earth, still running around tempting people, and that still has to be dealt with. Well, that will come, and that will come in the next couple of chapters. So hang on to your hats for the rest of the story, and remember that evil, as powerful as it seems to be, and as threatening as it seems to be, as tempting as it sometimes is not going to win. So don't worry about evil winning. And people do. They think, oh, what if this or what if that? Evil's not going to win. And so there's nothing that you need to worry about on that score. What you need to do is cling to Jesus, because sometimes it seems like evil is winning. But cling to Jesus and you'll be all right. So we will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.